Recording.
Oh, hello everyone. welcome. Hello and welcome to the CS Music Online Masterclass series. Today we're here with the wonderful Analisa Leaming. Before we get started with this masterclass, I wanted to let you all know we have 3 singers signed up. We do have room for one or two more singers if anyone's interested in a spontaneous singing session today. If anyone would like to volunteer to sing as well, please let me know in the chat, direct message, and we can get that started for you. Without further ado, I know you didn't come to hear me spiel. I am more than happy to introduce Analisa Leaming for today's masterclass. Welcome.
Hello. Nice to see everybody. If you are here and you are able to show your faces, I'd love to see you. But I also understand you might be commuting or vacuuming your house or whatnot. So yeah, it's nice to see you all. I'm not going to tell you about myself because I'm going to assume that you read in the email when you signed up for this. Some fun things that I've done, but I'm excited to be here and excited to explore this idea with you all about the whole artist. This is what lights me up and inspires me. And I actually have a podcast called A Balancing Act, where it's part of the conversation that everybody's muted. Perfect. Yeah, so I'm really interested in, it's one thing to train our instrument, to train our voice, to train our acting, and something that often gets overlooked is our mental and emotional health and well-being in pursuing this crazy roller coaster of a career. How do we manage it? How do we manage the ups and downs? And how do we manage, what we like to call competition or rejection, all of these things. And so, I'm really interested in building an inner dialogue with ourselves and speaking to ourselves in a compassionate, loving way. And also, at the same time, these are the words of my mentor, being ruthlessly onto ourselves. So there's the compassionate, loving side. And then there's also the not being a victim and looking at things in a, taking responsibility. Maybe that's how I would say it. Taking responsibility for how we're feeling. And so in today's class, the way I kind of wanted to approach this is I'm actually less interested in how you're hitting the notes or even the acting side of it, even though that excites me a lot. I'm less interested in that, and I'm more interested in focusing on the mental and emotional journey of just being in a masterclass and singing for other people. What does that bring up in us? Can we be aware of what's happening? Can we accept what's happening and acknowledge it without pushing it down or without having to go I'm fine, everything's good. The toxic positivity thing. And then also being aware throughout, if you're singing, being aware throughout your performance. I'm going to ask you afterwards, how that went. And you can totally talk about the performing side of it, but I'm also really curious in what your experience is like. Was it so fun? Was it free? Were you watching yourself a lot? Were you criticizing yourself a lot along the way? So the reason this is so important is because we self-sabotage so much and we're not even aware. So the first step is always awareness. What's going on when I'm singing? What's going on when I'm auditioning, when I'm performing, when I'm doing a master class? What's going on up here? And how can I be more deliberate about the experience that I'm going to have? So something I want you all to think about, whether you're singing or not, because I hope that, you'll apply this to not just the next time you sing, but also just to life in general, is being more deliberate. with what we're thinking about, what we're focusing on, and also accepting exactly where we are. So this isn't about just being like, the most positive version of ourselves, but it's like, can I allow myself to feel the self-doubt? Can I just allow myself to feel self-doubt? Because we all have it, but somewhere along the way we were taught to like kind of push those things down and just be positive, have confidence, but nobody talks about how. So for me, the first step is acknowledging the self-doubt, or acknowledging the insecurity or the nerves of like, ooh, I'm kind of nervous about singing. So acknowledging it and accepting it. So if you're singing tonight especially, can you feel into any of that? Can you just notice what your human instrument is doing? And if it's just sheer excitement, wonderful. Feel that. Allow yourself to feel that emotion. And if there's any seeds of like, ooh, how's this going to go? How's my voice going to sound? Just acknowledging the feeling, not the story, not the thought of like, what if I mess up? That's the thought. But the feeling of like, ooh, there's some things going on in my body because I'm about to sing in front of people. And so can we just take a breath and accept that? So that's the first thing, is checking in. How am I? What's going on in my human instrument? And then the second thing I want to do is to set an intention. So if you're singing tonight, I want you to set an intention. What is the point? Why? Why are you here? Why are you going to sing? What is your intention? And so not expectation of like, I expect myself to be brilliant, or I expect to get some brilliant piece of wisdom from Analisa that will change the course of my career. But what is your intention? So here are some intentions that I have when I go to sing, is to be to explore. One intention I like to have before I sing, or before I audition, or before in front of somebody else, is I want to surprise myself. That can take you off the hook of like a planned performance. Is I want to surprise myself. I don't know how it's going to go. To explore this song from exactly where I am right now. So yes, we may have planned things about it before, but this is the only time you've ever been in this moment in space, in life. And so you a little tired? Are you excited about something? Like, can you bring your authentic self, who you are in this moment, to what you're about to do? So these are all kind of fun intentions. Maybe another intention that I have is to, the wording is a little flowery, but it feels good to me, is to dance with creativity. Because creativity is something that flows through us. So I like to think of like, I want to dance with her, with my creative energy, to allow something to come through me. Again, this all is taking off the focus of performing, doing it right, looking good, sounding perfect. So these are some other things to sort of deliberately focus on. So I want you, if you're singing tonight, to definitely tap into, what is my intention? And may I offer another intention to be, to explore my unique everything, voice, storytelling, person, ideas, thoughts, my lived experience, to explore that, to tap into that more than ever before, by allowing what is. Okay, and then if you're not singing tonight, obviously, these are great questions for the next time you're going to sing. Some great thoughts, some great reframes, shifting the paradigm from the am I good enough, or I have something to prove, right? And so lastly, I have a phrase or a question for you that I hope each one of you, no matter what side of the table you are on tonight, that you can feel how it just like kind of activates your unique human. And the question is, if I had 10 times the amount of courage that I have, how would I show up? how would I sing? How would I play if I had 10 times the amount of courage? Can any of you feel kind of like already just like, ooh, can you feel how that sort of like does something? Just like having that thought. Yeah, it allows us to play into possibility instead of, see, our minds do one of two things. Possibility, things we've never maybe experienced before. So possibility is like, ooh, if I had 10 times the amount of courage, maybe I wouldn't worry about the high note at the end of the song. If I had 10 times the amount of courage, I would take up more space. I would be unapologetic about myself. So we have possibility or we have probability. And that's where most of us go, is to like things that have happened in the past. And so we're like, ooh, what if I could forget the words like I did last time? Or, ooh, what if I don't get the response like I did 3 master classes ago with that other person? And so if we're not deliberate with our thoughts, they'll skew kind of negative. So having a question like, so you can even write 10x courage somewhere, like on your book or your music or somewhere to remind yourself like, oh yeah, let me tap into that possibility. So now I will stop talking and I will let you all start singing. But I hope you can kind of feel into that and just enjoy playing. So who's first?
Yes, our first singer today is Audrey.
Hi.
Hi, Audrey.
I gotta get my camera all set up.
Well, what are you singing for us today?
I'm gonna be singing Safer from First Date.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Give me one sec to find it. Okay. I know that I have issues. I face them, I swear. Think I overcome them, then turn, they're still there. Wish that I was different, I'd like to let go. So when I try to change, is my past saying no? Maybe it's all because of dad, his new kids, his new wife, or we're not just blame mom, who's been nuts my whole life. When you felt so alone since the moment of birth, and you've struggled to find your own true sense of worth, when it seems there is no one across this whole earth to depend upon, you carry on, just like you always do, because it's safer to rely on you. Oh, it's safer to rely on you.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay. Tell me, how do you feel in this moment?
I feel okay. I feel like it started out okay, and then I feel like I got phlegm in my throat, and then that started making me be nervous and being like, oh, it's not coming out like how I wanted it to. So that's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Because this happens to us all the time, right? When we're singing and we're in the middle of a show and something happens. And so what's interesting to me is like, yeah. So how do we manage that? Yeah. What do you think?
What do I think? I feel like I don't really think. I'm just like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. My mind just kind of goes into overdrive.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm really interested in acceptance. I think accepting what is something that is highly overrated, like or underrated. Sorry, it's underrated. We don't even realize. Instead, we're like, oh no, we either freak out, or like it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But can you feel like either one sends us into like not being with what actually is, which is a little phlegm in our throat, which
Mm-mm.
we all have. It's a thing. And so, what if, can you feel how just being like, phlegm?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a human, I have phlegm. It's okay. Like, it's okay. And then can I just drop back in? Can I trust that I can manage it?
Okay.
What do you think? What does that feel like?
It feels a lot better. It feels like very accepting, because like I personally, if I get like stressed about something, I'm like, you know what, let's stop trying to control it. It feels like it's releasing control, which is something I think would be good to implement.
Yeah, it's so crazy, when we are performing, there's a lot of voices in our heads. There's one like trying to focus on what we're singing and be in the moment, but then we all have our inner critic, and then that one's quite loud, right? And then there's maybe the kind of neutral one that's just narrating everything, like, whoa, she has phlegm, whoa, there it is. So yeah, but you sound lovely. And I want to play. I actually didn't notice phlegm. I don't know about anybody else, but I didn't notice that was even going on. So that's the other thing, right? It's something that we think is a massive deal. Probably isn't. Yeah. So I want to play with. Tell me tell me why you love and why you connect with this cut that you have.
I think it's just really, I think the music's beautiful. Like when I first heard the song, I was like, oh, I love it so much. And I think it's like very emotional too, which I really like about it.
Yeah. So that's what I want to connect with. I want to connect with, what are you even talking about?
Mhm.
So is there a part of you that can relate to this character?
Yes.
Yeah, you've had this conversation before in your head.
Yes. So like I'm very type A. So I'm like, I want to do everything myself because I know that I can do it. Yeah.
Yep. I'm not going to put myself out there to get hurt. It is safer to rely on myself.
Mhm.
So here's what I want you to play with. I want you to do it again. And I want you to. Do you consider yourself a musician first?
No.
No? Actor first?
Yeah.
Actor first. Okay. So I want you to completely focus on the text and give it to me like a monologue. In fact, can you just look at me as you do it? So don't
Yeah.
feel like you're performing it. And I just want you to, as if we've just met for the first time, because we have.
Yeah.
I want you to reveal a little bit of your heart to me.
Okay.
Trust that you don't have to do anything, that you don't have to show me anything, that you're literally just telling me. And I'm going to listen, and I'm going to really listen to you. And I want you to allow, by being this vulnerable with me, this is really vulnerable, right? Like, it's vulnerable work that we're doing. It's exposing. It's way easier to perform because you're like, look over here, right? Than just the like, here's my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so in being this focused and direct with me, I want you to allow your mind to be filled with pictures and images. So for example, tell me the first couple lines of the song. Just speak it.
I know that I have issues. I face them, I swear. Think I overcome them, then turn, they're still there.
Okay. So I know that I have issues. Don't tell us, please. But do you know, when you say that, do you have an issue that pops into your head?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's the kind of specificity that is thrilling. And when we're that specific with every line that we're singing, then we really don't have to show anything, because then I'm watching you have this experience.
Okay.
So can you, as you go, no pushing required, but can you allow your own personalization on this? Can your mind be filled with pictures and images of your issues, your fears, so you're just telling me about it.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you start, I want you to start the music again, and I just want you to stay this close to me.
Okay.
I want you to look at me and just tell me about this. And thank you for trusting me.
I know that I have issues. I face them, I swear. Think I overcome them, then turn, they're still there. Wish that I was different, I'd like to let go. Still, when I try to change, there's my past saying no. Maybe it's all because of dad, his new kids, his new wife. Or why not just blame mom, who's been nuts my whole life. When you felt so alone since the moment moment of birth, and you struggle to find your own true sense of worth, when it seems there is no one across this whole earth to depend upon. You carry on just like you always do, 'cause it's safer to rely on you. Oh, it's safer to rely on you.
What? Okay, tell me what that was like.
It felt a lot easier. For most parts of it, I felt a lot less nervous, and the specificity and like thinking of things really did help and kept my mind off the singing. But when it came to like the higher notes, that's when my mind would go, oh, big note coming up.
Yeah. And yes, and I could feel that little bit of like instability on that, right? Because you were in your body, and then you're popping up here.
Oh,
right?
really?
Well, not physically. No,
Okay.
popping up to your mind, right?
Okay.
Telling me the story, and you're so grounded, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, the music, the notes, and literally what happens is like you're not breathing as well, right? And I don't want you to focus on your breath. Don't do that.
Good to know.
But simply by dropping in, can I trust this?
Okay.
Yeah. That was lovely.
Thank you.
Love the simplicity and the honesty in that. Did it feel very different from the time before in that way?
It felt so, because I definitely feel like there's a lot of pressure, because like I'm not, as a person, I'm not all over the place, but sometimes when you're singing musical theater, it feels like there's so much pressure to be like, okay, I'm singing and so big all the time.
Yeah, no, I think you can let that go.
Okay.
There was a time when it was Broadway and it was big, but it really is more and more and more about the storytelling, and I think that supports the voice, especially in the speech mode kind of stuff. This is also yeah, and then on those leaps, safer, trust that it doesn't have to go safer. Can it stay grounded in speech? Yeah, just try that. Just do safer.
Safer. I didn't trust it.
That's okay. Roll your shoulders. And then I want you to feel in your gut. Can you put your hands like on your belly button and like kind of hold yourself? Because our safety it's down here, kind of in our root anyway. Can you just go, it's safer to be with me. Safer here. Yeah.
It's safer. Can I try it one more time?
Yeah. Each time, can you trust that you're safe?
It's safer to rely on you.
Yeah. So you can feel that it's about trusting.
Yeah.
Trust that it's going to be there, because they're still like, ooh, right? They're still like, but it'll come. Keep playing, keep trusting yourself. But that storytelling is so lovely. And can you feel how that requires a little more courage to be that still and that honest?
Yeah.
More courage. But isn't it so much more fun?
Yes.
Yeah. That's really lovely. I think, Bryn, are we okay on time?
We have about 2 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. I know you said you would tell me, but that really was feeling like the time. Okay, good. So actually then, all right, we're gonna play just a little bit more with the end of that then, because I want you to trust. So do this for me. I want you to can you do a V? Can you go? Yeah, do that again. And now I want you to place your hands right here on those top two abs. And then you're going to kind of shred them apart as you do it. Like you're going to allow an alien to pop out, like from the Alien. So you're going to go and slowly do that. Good. Safer. Right there.
Safer to rely on you. That felt a lot better.
Oh, hey, connection to your body. Funny how that happens. And when we are nervous, that all falls away.
Yeah.
Right? So that's just another thing. Like, obviously, there are still times when we have to check in with our instrument. We love to stay in the story as much as possible, but sometimes, when you get to that part, you might have to think, oh, I'm going to shred those abs. I'm going to just remind myself to connect lower in my body. And that will do the trick. You're so wonderful. That was so lovely. Keep going with that specificity. Every time you catch yourself, this goes for everybody, okay? Every time you catch yourself doing a gesture for gesture's sake, that is a time to go, oh, I'm not as connected to the text. That's why. And I'm trying to fill it out here rather than fill it in here. So that's just been my rule of thumb for myself. Every time I catch myself doing a random hand or a weird grab, I'm like, oh, in here. Yeah, awesome. Okay, beautiful work.
Yeah.
All right, great. Our next singer today is Justin.
Justin.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you for asking. Okay,
Plan.
so I'll be singing Amarili Mia Bella by Giulio Caccini.
Gorgeous. I cannot wait. So before you start,
Yes.
I do this with Audrey as well. Take a breath. Yeah. Yeah. And how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little nervous, but I'm feeling calmer than I thought I would be.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. Yeah. So right before you hit play, just ask yourself again, go, how would I sing this if I had 10 times the amount of courage? Just ask it to yourself and just kind of see what that opens up, and then go for it.
Okay. Amarili mia bella, non credio del mio cor, tace desio, te tu, l'amor mio. Credilo pur, seti morta sale, tu vitar non ti vale, aprimi il petto, vec l'hai scritto in cuore. Amarili, amarili, amarili è il mio amore. Credilo pur, sedi morta sane, tu vitar non ti vale, aprimi il petto, vec t'hai scritto in cuore. Amarili, 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 il mio amore. Amarili, il mio amore.
Lovely. So lovely. Ugh, I want to see everybody. Oh, there's everybody. Yeah. I saw some applause. Beautiful, beautiful work. Okay. Justin, where are you in your journey? Meaning, like, are you in school?
I am in school. I'm a senior in high school.
Okay, wonderful.
And that's where I am right now. Yeah.
I love it. Are you auditioning for programs or?
Oh, so many. Yeah, for colleges, some competitions. I'm also in school, like singing and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah.
Are you auditioning for to do vocal performance?
Yes.
Lovely,
Yes.
lovely. I love it. Well, wonderful work. Okay, is there a way that you can tilt the camera down just a little bit? So I
Yes.
can see a little more of you.
There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
There we
Okay,
go.
that'll help me so much. Oh, okay, so good.
Awesome.
Um, Tell me why you love this song.
Well, I was first introduced to this song literally like freshman year. Um, and it was like the first opera piece I was ever like introduced to. And I absolutely fell in love with it. And it's been with me for like 4 years now. I just love the story. I love how it's written. I just love almost everything about
Are
it.
you doing it for auditions?
Yes, yes, I am.
I love it. Um, okay, good. Well, I can tell that you love it. I can tell that when you sing that you love this music, which is just such a joy to watch. Um, what was the experience like? So, as I said, like I'm sort of curious about your singing and acting, but I'm also very curious about your experience of it. So, what was that like?
Okay. So actually I took your advice and like thinking about something to get my mind off of like how I sound or whatnot. Because usually I think about how I sound and what I look like all the time, and it messes me up almost 100% of the time.
Wow.
And I think with that, like it ran like smoother than like it usually does, and that was really helpful. But also, on like the more like higher notes, I did think about, am I gonna hit them? How am I gonna hit them? And like that was still like a little bit of an issue for me.
Hmm. Well, I didn't hear that as an issue, so just FYI, I think you can let that go. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just like take a magic pill and that worry could go away?
That would be excellent. That'd be great.
But one thing though, and this is so important to remember, the stories that we tell ourselves over and over and over become just beliefs that we have. We stop questioning them. I can't tell you how many people in New York City I've come across who have just decided they are bad at auditioning.
Yeah.
Oh, but you have to do it more than you often get to perform. You can't be bad at it, right? But those stories, they can then um, seep into our subconscious, and then we don't even question them anymore, right? You're just like, well, I struggle with high G's. That just becomes a story, right? No, it's not true. So starting to notice, oh, I have a thought about this. What if it goes really well? Do you ever ask yourself that?
No, I've never asked myself that ever.
I know. And so, like, can you imagine? So it's going to take practice because it's going to feel phony. You're going to be like, yeah, but what if it doesn't? And so then you go, well, if it doesn't, I know how to manage that too. My voice is cracked. I'll handle it if that happens, right? Or like, if I'm a little flat, whatever, I'm human, I'll get over it. So, to the part of us that's like, you might mess up, what are you going to do? When you say, okay, so I might, then it's not as loud. Because I think sometimes the mistake is trying to argue back and be like, stop, I have to focus. And you try to like shut up the voice, but then it gets louder.
Right.
But instead, if you look to the voice and you go, okay, I might not hit it, but I also might, and it might be really good. And the voice is like, kind of quiet. So that's another, like, as you think about going into these auditions, is like, what if it goes really well?
Right.
And I have a feeling it's going to. So I want you to play with that. And by the way, there's a reason my podcast is called A Balancing Act, because you're always going to have both. You're always going to have the self-doubt.
Right.
And I hope that you're cultivating this voice of self-love and self-assuredness. And so you're going to have both. And literally within one 5-minute song or 3-minute song, they're going to both exist.
Right.
So we're not trying to banish the self-doubt. That just doesn't work. We're human. So it's okay. But can we start to build this one up? that's like, you're really good and I love this and I don't have to be perfect. So when I gave up perfectionism, which I studied vocal performance, and perfectionism is like, it's tough. You're in the crook of the piano and you have to look perfect and every note has to be perfect. At least that's what I perceived. And then when I came into the musical theater world, I had to shed that because I was a little robotic and I was trying to give this perfect performance. And then once I started to accept that, oh, I can be messy and it doesn't have to be that way, I started to book jobs much more consistent. Because again, people are like, ooh, it's a human, interesting, rather than like, ooh, look at that perfect robot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are just some things to play with in your own mind as you're going to do this again. Now, talk to me about this. Talk to me about opening up here. Is that
Yeah,
hard?
I've always had an issue. That's like my main issue. Like this area, I always do this. It's always been like something that I don't even think about when I
Yeah.
perform.
Yeah.
Just this.
So
Yeah.
what have you done to kind of work on that? Is it just thinking about it and saying, okay, stand up straight, shoulders back, kind of a thing?
Usually it's yeah, yeah. I think that's like the main way. I like try to work on it, or like I try to like stand, like against the wall and put my shoulders back sometimes. But yeah, it's always been such a horrible habit of mine.
Yeah. I mean, but for now, it won't always be. But so, um, stretching your pecs a lot is going to help.
Okay.
Stretching here and then strengthening those muscles in the back.
Okay.
Muscles along the spine are probably very weak, and these muscles are very tight. So it's going to be very uncomfortable for a while to go like this because the muscles that are back here trying to hold this up are probably a little weak. Mine are too. I'm working on it as well.
Right.
So, just imagine that you have a chestnut sitting on the middle of your spine between your shoulder blades. And now you just want to bring your shoulder blades together and try to crack that chestnut. So it's not like this big dramatic movement, right? It's just
Right.
you feel those muscles kind of coming together. So that's literally an exercise that you can do. You can also put your arms up in a V and do the same thing. This is from my physical therapist. You're welcome. I'm kidding. So you can like crack that chestnut. Doing
Okay.
this for a couple minutes before you sing every time to start to teach my body. And I'm telling you this because you're singing this song with these long phrases and you're going to want your rib cage to expand as much as possible. So can you feel that right now? Can you just...
Yes.
Yeah. Now reach back and grab your hands if you can behind your back in some way. Yeah. And stretch, open your chest. Yeah. And let your head go because then your head's going to want to like freeze where it is. So you kind of let go. Okay. So I want you to do it again. And if you're going to dance with this idea of your shoulders. So I want you to feel if they start to collapse and then open up. And here's why. I want you to take up this space. I want you to take up the space of like, I love this song. I love sharing it. I love to sing this. And you can't do it like this.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go.
Okay.
10 times the courage. What if it goes really well?
Right. Okay. Amari li mia bella, non credio del mio cor, dolce desio, t'esser tu, l'amor mio. Credi pur, esse timor da sale, dubitar non ti vale, na prime peto, vez da scritto in core. Amarili, 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 il mio amore.
How's that feel?
It feels a lot better. Like I feel like I can just like go forever on like the notes.
Yeah, you can. And you can keep going. All those long lines, let yourself sing through those lines. Enjoy those gorgeous long lines. Trust that you don't have to stay here. That you can really feel. Can you feel like if you were to dance it or feel the movement of it? Yeah, can you already feel kind of like, ooh, with that? Yeah. Good. Beautiful work. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're so welcome.
Hi, our next singer today is Luz Vizcarra. And my apologies if I mispronounce your name.
Yes, I have some troubles with connection, but I am here.
Hello.
Oh, nice to see you.
You too.
I will sing something by Ciro in Babylonia, by Rossini. Come il mio dolore. How I feel a little nervous because I know you are a great singer. And it's something that I bearing the pandemic time, and I really want to take some auditions when all the others will be open, and to take something for your program. And this is, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Come calmar potrò mi sento che farò senza lo scopo, non so che farò perché questi crudi, perché questi crudi, per me figlio, il cuore vacillar. Thank you very much.
Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, I know there are people here clapping. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah. See, you have so gorgeous. So, the connection is not perfect, but you sound gorgeous. I want to know what the emotional and mental experience of that aria was.
The serious wife is died, and his brother, his, his son predicted him, and he lost the, the crown. And he was a king in Babylonia, and he lost everything. It's a very dramatic Rossini's opera.
So I'm curious what your emotional and mental experience of just singing for us was. Was it filled with were you lost in the song? Was there moments of doubt? What was it? Pure fun? What was your experience performing for us?
Oh, okay. I'm a little bit nervous about the sound, the high notes,
Yeah.
because a few months ago I had COVID, and I feel a little bit insecure in the central part of the voice,
Yeah.
and the highest. And this area has three notes to highs for me, because I am mezzo soprano. This la, uh, oh my god, near to the end of the area, and feel me really, really, really nervous for this, but so happy for doing.
Yeah.
It's so complicated. It's many emotions.
Yeah.
I'm happy, but I feel nervous. Uh, Secure because it's my strongest repertory in the repertory, but I feel insecure because this is a more or less new area.
Yeah.
It's a mix of all of these.
Yes, it really is. It really is, and it's always interesting to see which one wins. Is the fear going to win or is the joy going to win? Yeah. Well, I thought you sound beautiful. Your voice.
It's amazing.
Mm.
Maybe I never asked what I feel.
Say that one more time.
Maybe I never asked me what I feel. And
I know.
wow, this is great. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we can by tapping into that, we can see are we giving power away to the fear or the worry? Like is that getting more energy than I want it to? Or is it an appropriate amount? So I think it would be really fun. I don't know if we want to do the entire thing again. what would you think about, would it be easy for you to find like kind of the middle of the aria and we can do the like second half? Do you think you'd be able to do that or would that take a while?
Yes,
So before you start though, I want to offer.
ma pensando ai cari oggetti, ora il cuore a vacilar, ma pensando ai cari oggetti, ora il cuore a vacilar. Oh yes, it's Maurici.
It's all me. No, that was lovely. That's lovely. Okay, I want you to do it again, and I want you to try this thought on. Can you now go, okay, what if I have 10 times the amount of courage than I have even just then? What if I take up space and I own that I could sing this aria in any opera house? How would I sing knowing that?
Bravo sangue il cor, il bronzo cerca, già li odiate pretti, ma pensando ai cari oggetti, darò il cuore a vacilar, ma pensando ai cari oggetti, ora il cuore a vacilar. Oh, great! It's more comfortable. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that sounded like it was a third lower. It wasn't, but it sounded so easy.
Yes.
And you were so grounded and like commanding.
Yes.
Yeah. That's so fun, right? And it's all by offering the mind some different thoughts. You know, what if I own this? What if I have permission to shine as brightly as I know I can?
Thank you so much. This is really, really, really great. Right, to, 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 to change the things that I think when I am singing.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere along the way we think we need permission. Like, you know, we play small and we're like waiting for permission. But we didn't do that when we were younger, you know. We just were unapologetic about ourselves. And so I think a lot of this is like coming back to that version of ourselves. And it's like it's not it's not egocentric to shine brightly, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Do you want to do a little bit more of it? We have a couple minutes left. Do you want to pick another section or do a little more?
The final section, the section that made me feel a little bit insecure.
Okay, so tap back into that. Yeah? Tap into that. I'm just going to take up space. I have 10 times the courage.
Alarmi, 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 alarmi,
Yeah. Did you surprise yourself?
yes, so much. The highest notes are now are
Yeah.
comfortable. Oh, thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's helpful. We have so much more power than we think we do.
Thank you very much.
Of course, it's so my pleasure. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. You're wonderful.
Thank you. See you.
All right, and we have one last singer today. Catherine is up fourth.
Awesome.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Should I just go?
Tell me what you're going to sing for us.
Yes, of course. I'm singing One Kiss from the New Moon.
Oh, I love that. Okay, good. So before you start, can you tilt
Yes.
your screen down just like a couple inches so I can see less up above your head? It's way less interesting. Yeah, I'll take it. And then, as I've said to everybody else, you've heard me say it all night, give yourself that prompt of, okay, 10 times this courage.
Yes.
All right.
And I don't have an accompaniment track.
Okay.
So spontaneous.
I love
Okay.
it. Let's do it.
In this year 1792, our conventions have been thrown all askew, and I know I'm out of date when I seek one mate, one faithful, true. To be really in the fashion today, you must have a dozen beaux at your sway. But somehow I don't believe in the modern plan. I want to wait for just one man. One kiss, one man to save it for. One love for him alone. One word, one vow, and nothing more. To tell him I'm his own. One magic night within his arms, with passion flame unfurled. But I will try to love only one man, and no other man in the world.
Gorgeous. Okay, I know people are clapping. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so you know the question by now. You've heard me ask other people. What was your experience like singing that song?
It was fun. There were definitely moments where I was like, I feel like I'm a little flat. So then that got me a little like worried about my notes instead of like how I'm feeling. But then I got back on it a little.
Yeah, I was going to say, so how quickly did you come back? Because we do that. We skate out. But then how quickly did you come back? Pretty quickly?
Yeah, like within like a line or two.
Yeah, I think so. It seemed that way to me. You seemed very present.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was it fun?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah, it seemed fun. Did you surprise yourself?
Yes. A lot of the notes just felt like free and easy. And they normally do, but it still felt good.
Yeah. Maybe not like the very first time you sing for somebody you've never met before. They maybe don't feel as free and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, good. So tell me why you have to sing the song. Like why you have to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Because my friends are like, oh, like, this isn't important, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, but it is. And, like, this is how I feel. And this is how important it is. That was super vague, but I had a specific
That's okay.
in mind.
That's okay. So you're kind of does it feel like you're convincing your friends?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, I bet you do this. You know, when you're trying to convince somebody to see something like you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, for example, What food do you hate? What's a food you hate?
What is a food I hate? I don't hate a lot of foods.
Okay, well,
I
let's
don't
just.
love sweet potato.
What? Okay, so I'm going to convince you why you should love sweet potato.
Okay.
So, okay, sweet potatoes. Well, they're healthy, but they're like candy. They're like nature's candy. And I love taking a sweet potato. Well, actually, my favorite way is taking a sweet potato and chopping it up as thinly as possible and putting it in the oven, and it's so crispy. Ooh, and putting a little cinnamon on it, and then dipping it in like some melted butter, and it tastes so good. So see, I completely forgot about you, and I was so in the moment with my sweet potato.
Mhm.
So what I'm curious about is maybe you start out convincing your friends, trying to convince your friends or whatever. And can you completely forget that they're there and that you are imagining this one kiss and this one night? Like, I want you to imagine and in the moment, what is the night? What is the weather like? Can you feel the air on your arms and then his hand comes around on your shoulder and you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. Surprise
Yeah.
yourself. See where it goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. And so this is fun too, right? So let this russet part at the beginning be as conversational as possible. As if
Okay.
you're just trying to tell everybody in this chat right now, just like, yeah, just tell us. Just tell us about it. No acting required, right? Just tell us about how antiquated our ideas are. And then somewhere along the way, you'll surprise yourself because you don't know yet. You know, maybe you start out kind of telling us, and then where do you just completely go into your own world of dreaming about this thing?
Okay.
Yeah.
In this year of 1792, our conventions have been thrown all askew. And I know I'm out of date when I seek one mate, one faithful, ever true. To be really in the fashion today, you must have a dozen beaux at your sway. But somehow I don't believe in the modern plan. I want to wait for just one man. One kiss, one man to save it for. One love for him alone. One word, one vow, and nothing more. To tell him I'm his own. One magic night within his arms, with passion unfurled. But I will try to love only one man, and no other man in the world.
Yeah. How did that feel?
Better.
Could you start to see things that you hadn't seen before?
Yes.
I loved the beginning. I loved how conversational that was.
Thank you.
That was so fun. And you know what? I know you're saying in the year of 1792, but can you also feel how relevant that is right now?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really just imagining like your three closest friends right there and you're just talking to them. You know, I think like in these I think it's interesting to fight against what an operetta should be, you know? and giving yourself permission to be a real person and, you know, not an ingenue in an operetta. I think that's interesting. And I think you really did that really well at the beginning. And then, you know, challenge yourself to keep going further. When you say one word, for example, do you know what the one word is?
Mm-hmm.
And do you know what the vow is that you want to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. And then what do you think about one word, one vow, nothing more to tell him of his own. Oh, but I will what about that last line or two? What do you think about that?
I feel like it's kind of focusing back to like my friends and being
Yeah.
like, but this is like what I'm gonna do and I'm sticking to it. Like this is how I want it all to happen.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And so can you even allow yourself to like can you physically like be in that world and then suddenly be like, see, it's all worth it. I will do this, you know? Can you allow yourself to even have a shift of focus there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what this person looks like?
Mm-hmm. Sort of.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. I need to do it again. And keep filling in those details, you know?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Filling in those details, like, you know, you can focus on environment. I think that's a really fun way to ground ourselves. You can focus on exactly where you are. I don't know why I see you like in like a midnight blue sky with this person like out somewhere outside, but that might not be what you see at all. But for me, that conjures up certain smells and images of like that cinematic moment with that one kiss, right?
Mm-hmm.
So kind of keep filling in those details. And then just for fun, when you do with what's the passion flower unfurled line?
One magic night within his arms with passion flower unfurled.
Flower, right? Flower.
Yeah, flower.
Can you drop that a little bit? Can you trust yourself to let it go?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of staying up here and flower, instead of kind of going this way a little, can you let get through the F and the L, those stinking L's, right? Flower unfurl, and the same thing. No, 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 man in the. Can you? Obviously, we want to maintain this, but can you go a little taller?
Okay.
My voice teacher in college used to say, "Sing on the Tiffany box, the Tiffany necklace box. That's right here. Has to stay here. Can't go over here."
Okay.
Just play with that. See what happens.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
In this year 1792, our conventions have been thrown all askew, and I know I'm out of date when I seek one mate, one faithful lover true. To be really in the fashion today, you must have a dozen but your sway. But somehow I don't believe in the modern plan. I want to wait for just one man. One kiss, one man to save it for. One love for him alone. One word, one vow, and nothing more. To tell him I'm his own. One magic night within his arms, with passion unfurled. But I will try to love only one man, and no other man in the world.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, your like moment over here with the kiss and the person, it was so dreamy.
Oh, thank you.
You feel that way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were like in your dream. I loved it. So fun. No other man in the. Come on, we got this. Okay,
Yeah.
So I want you to do my alien trick. So I want you to put your hands on those top two abs, and you're gonna imagine that as you sing in the, you're gonna shred, and you're gonna trust your tongue can be released. The world. Notice I'm bringing it down the octave because I can.
Okay. Okay.
Come on, give me a big old sigh. Ah, up there on that note.
Ah!
Mm-hmm. Feel how open that was? Can you get that? Talk about even more in the sob, please.
Ah!
Oh, what if the? Can you feel that?
Uh-huh.
That stretch back this way?
Yeah.
In the. Just try. Just play. We're just playing.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
Good. I think it still could use more of the lifted soft palate feeling, but it definitely felt better.
Yeah. That definitely is going in that direction instead of that kind of going here, which I just don't think you need to go there yet. I think if it was a little higher, you know, we start to kind of go there. But I don't think you need to. I think it can be so grounded in, stay so grounded and down here in the. So we're not going in, popping out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, it's like that taffy feeling. Okay, I'm not going to put you through it again. Keep playing. You're wonderful. That was great.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, so those were our 4 singers today. Another round of applause for all of our
Good job,
singers.
everybody.
What a treat.
Yeah.
We have some time for some Q&A. If anyone has any questions for Analisa Leaming, please feel free to leave some questions in the chat. You can private message, you can message everyone, you can raise your hand virtually with the raise hand feature, completely up to you. All right, Audrey raised the hand. Please feel free. The floor is yours.
So I'm currently a freshman in college. I'm an acting major, and I really want to try and go into it professionally after college. So what's your advice from going to college I'm in Michigan, going from Michigan to New York?
Well, I can't tell you about going from Michigan to New York because I've never done it, but I did go. I'm kidding. I'm teasing you. Well, that is very exciting. Let's see. What would I say? Well, because my mind goes to so many tell me what's your burning question about? Is it logistical, life in New York, or is it how will I get auditions, or how, tell me what be more specific.
Probably more about how you get auditions and how you start getting hired and that kind of thing, if that makes sense, how you start meeting people and how to find your place.
Yeah, that's a great question. I definitely think that as you get up there closer to that time that you'll hopefully get some resources to connect with, other people that are doing it, or maybe people who have graduated a year or two before you and who are already doing it. That will be such a great community for you. So you're a freshman now, so start making friends with some upperclassmen that are going to do that. Truly, I remember sometimes I would reach out to people that were farther ahead of me in their career and weren't quite able to help me. Because I was like, where do I find auditions? And they were like, I don't know. My agent gets me auditions. And I was like, oh, I don't have an agent. How do you get an agent? Because I studied classically. So that was a big shift for me. But, check out playbill.com. That's a great free resource to start. Playbill.com, backstage.com. And, you can even just start for fun perusing audition notices now and seeing the language. And then when you're in school, you can fill that in. I saw these auditions for these plays that interest me are asking for 2 contrasting monologues like this. Oh, great. I'm starting to build that now, right? Which you're already starting to do. So you're preparing for that. And so those are just free, great resources to check out. But I'm not worried about you at all. You'll find people and you'll find the community. And then in New York, I found community through taking classes a lot. Classes never end, right? So acting classes, song study classes, and things like that. Yeah. Any other questions?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm also a freshman in college.
You guys should connect.
What is your feeling on auditioning for shows like while in school, like outside of school, like auditioning for shows outside of school while in school, and then also things you did like over the summers in between
Yeah.
classes to
Yeah.
prepare?
Are you studying vocal performance? Or are you
I'm studying musical theater.
Oh, you are? Okay, great. Auditioning for things. Does your school have a policy on auditioning outside of school?
I don't think they love it, but I think you can.
And are you talking like auditioning for professional shows that you would potentially like leave school for?
No, like community theater.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, I definitely did some community theater when I was in college. And I was studying vocal performance, so it was great for me I did like Fiddler on the Roof in the town where I went to school. I found a dance class because we didn't have dance, so I found things to do for myself. So if you really think schedule wise that you can handle it, if you're not getting the opportunities that you want to get at school, that's something to think about. But hopefully you'll get the shows at school and you can, focus on that. That's what you're paying for. Don't feel like, it's so easy to be like, I have to do all the things and I'm going to miss out if I don't do all the things. Like, you're fine. But if you feel called, if there's a show that fits with your schedule, audition if that works out. But don't burn yourself out because school goes by so fast and then you have the real world. So, and then as far as summers, so I did the New Moon at College Light Opera Company after my junior year. That was one thing I did. And they do like some operettas and then mostly musicals now. I think it's a little more heavy on musicals, but that's in Cape Cod. That was a really fun summer. They don't pay though. And then, I did straw hats. Is that still a thing? Like the straw hats and SETCs and things like that. So, you can definitely audition for summer stock for summer gigs. Absolutely. I did Ohio Light Opera as well. So I'm definitely, I was more in the classical world then. But I have so many friends that I went to school, or that I've performed with now, who were doing like non-union theaters, or some did union theaters, like Wagon Wheel. That's in Michigan, right? Is that in Michigan? Maybe not. Wagon Wheel and Weather Vane, that's in New Hampshire. These are ones that often will hire college kids. The Muni and Kansas City Starlight. There were a lot of local college kids in those when I worked there. So yeah, but you're just getting started.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other burning questions before we say goodnight? Well, it was so nice to hear you all. Thank you all for singing and opening your hearts and minds, and take that 10 times courage away. Take that with you, make it your own. Put it in your book or in your music binder or something as a reminder, even before you have a voice lesson, like, how would I approach this voice lesson if I had 10 times the amount of courage? Or this date. It applies everywhere in life. Yeah. Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Analisa, for joining us today.
My
The
pleasure.
mindfulness session is always so helpful in the music world and in the real world too, as you said. So this was so lovely. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Thank you again to all of our singers.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to our lovely audience also for coming out.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you all again soon.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Have a good rest of your day or evening.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Mhm.